everybody, Stephanie, your transformational coach, here today to talk to you about 7 early warning signs of unhealthy relationships. And I hate to say, but I learned all of these the hard way. After spending 15 plus years of going right from one bad relationship to another, I know all too well what those red flags are. And I like to share some of them with you today in the hopes that you don't have to waste as much time as I did. The first one I want to share with you is spending all of your time together. As you're getting to know each other in a relationship, it's really important to have time apart as well as with each other. Yes, you're going to be very excited that you are attracted to someone, that you have similar interests, and all those great things that you have in the beginning of a relationship. The reason why spending so much time together is a bad thing is because it makes you wonder what hobbies they have and whether or not they have any friends. The second thing it makes you wonder is, are they jealous? Is the reason why you're spending all their time together is because they're worried that if you're not with them, you're going to find somebody else. I found that with more than a few of my ex-bad relationships. So, big warning sign. Number 2, and it kind of goes along with number 1, excessive texts and calls. Again, seems sweet. You miss each other, you want to talk to each other, that's great. But let's say you're out with your friends and you're actually having a girls' night or a guys' night, or you're just out with some friends. If you're constantly looking at your cell phone because your significant other is texting you or calling you, then you're not spending time with your friends. That's frustrating for your friends, but it's also not a good sign for you because you're not actually even away from your significant other. When you are out with your friends, you should be able to hang out with your friends, not be constantly worried that you're not checking your cell phone. It's another sign of jealousy, so be very careful of the excessive text messages. Number 3, the love bombing. As you get to know each other, it's going to take some time. If they start saying I love you on the second date or start telling you about the future you're going to have together, huge red flag. A lot of the times that means they know that if you stay around for a while and they don't start trying to reel you in, that they're going to lose you for a variety of reasons. And one of them might just be that they cannot keep up the facade of how they're behaving and how they're acting for too long. So they're hoping that telling you about the future, telling you that they love you, all of those things, and it might be subconscious, they might not even realize that that's what they're really trying to do. But if they can pull you in and make you feel like you're a relationship and you're a part of something, it's a lot easier for you to start looking to the side and saying, you know what, I think I can deal with that issue that I'm noticing because, well, he loves me and he wants to have a future with me. So be very careful. And to go along with that, saying you're going to move in right away and all that kind of stuff, big red flags. Let the relationship develop. And it can't develop if it's too intense, too quickly, because love is not just about, the sexual part. Love is about being best friends with someone and really loving every different aspect of who they are. You can't do that in the second date. The next one is seeming like they are intimidated by you. I got this by pretty much every single person that I dated that was unhealthy. In the beginning, it can stroke your ego. Hey, they're intimidated by me because I'm so wonderful, I'm so great. I joke about it, but when you're with someone and you're supposed to have a partnership with somebody, you should be able to be your complete self, whoever that is. And if someone's saying that they're intimidated by you, that means one of two things normally. One, and this would be a good thing, that they're going to be inspired by you to motivate themselves to do better. Then they might not use the word intimidate. They might use inspire. The second thing that could mean is that they're going to try to pull you down to their level. What does that mean? Try to cut you down in the different things that you're working on in your life, different aspects of you that make you the great person that you are. Instead of coming up to your level, they're going to try to bring you down to their level. So be very careful of someone who is easily intimidated by you. The next thing I want you to be very, very concerned about is how is it that they are when you are out. You're out with friends, you're having a good time. Do they just allow you to be you? Or do they at some point in the night tell you to quiet down? For me in particular, what I got pretty often, and more than one of my ex-relationships, was to be told after we were out that I was talking too loud, talking too much, or I was the center of attention. Those three things were things that I heard pretty often. And I am bubbly. I do like to talk to people. I'm an extrovert, and that's actually something that's part of who I am. And to be told that by anyone, I started to question myself. Wait a minute, was I too loud? Why would someone that cares about me, why would they tell me that I was talking too much? Why? Maybe I am talking too much. And I second guessed myself. But here's what the real issue is. I was not able to be myself. And they were trying to make me into someone that I wasn't. I'm not a quiet person. I'm not a sit still and be demure type of person. That's not who I am. I've never really been that way. If you're telling me not to talk to people, if you're telling me not to be bubbly and friendly, then you're telling me not to be me. And anyone who tells you not to be you is not someone that you want to be in a relationship with. Huge warning sign, like red flag, run away, not a good sign at all. The next thing you need to be careful of is how are they when they are frustrated, as was I just that second. Do they lose their temper? How are they with that person that called, to sell them something? Did they yell and scream at them when they didn't get what they want? Are they able to escalate and talk to the manager about what the problem is while still keeping their temper in wraps? Are they able to deal with a problem without losing their temper, yelling and screaming and calling somebody names? Huge warning sign, even if it's not to you. Because sometimes what we'll say is, well, that was somebody else. I know for me, I had an ex, I watched him yell and scream at one of his friends, and in my head I was like, that doesn't seem right, but he's never done that to me, so I probably shouldn't worry about it. Or how they speak to their family. They're yelling and screaming and cursing at their family. If you're going to have a long-term relationship with them, at some point you're going to be their family. That's how they're going to talk to you. So be very careful of when they are in a situation where they're not getting what they want, how do they behave? And this brings me to the last sign. How do they disagree? How do they argue? How do you argue? How do the two of you argue? Is there a lot of yelling and screaming that's going on? Is there a lot of accusations, pointing fingers, name calling? With my ex-relationships, the word bitch, the word slut, the word whore, just words to specifically hurt me. Those are never words that I would ever hear again. I won't, because my husband has too much respect for me and would never say that to me. And he knows that if he did, I wouldn't stand up for it. But I did back then. Never let anyone speak to you and call you names. Trying to put you down, trying to make you feel bad. All of those things are huge warning signs. What should you be doing? It's fine if you're going to disagree. You're human, right? You're both two different people. And again, you want to find another whole person. So two whole people are going to probably sometimes have disagreements. It's all about how you work through the disagreements. Are you comfortable saying whatever's on your mind? Are you comfortable talking about your hopes and fears and all of those things without worrying that someone's going to shut you down or make fun of you or any of those other terrible things? How you disagree is a really important thing to notice in the relationship, because if he's yelling and screaming or she's yelling and screaming really early on, it is only going to get worse from there. And that's the kind of thing that snowballs. It starts off, and as you allow it, because you allow it when you continue to stay in that relationship, that means that that's okay with you, even though you might not think it is. It continues, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. I hope these tips helped. Feel free to share this, like, comment, whatever things you'd like to share. I would love to hear from you. And please always remember, you're way stronger than you realize.